Hey guys, what's going on? It's CalebBex01. Thank you for joining me again for a track list ranking video. Today's album that we will be breaking down is by one of my favorite bands of all time, and I'm so excited that I finally get to feature them on my channel and with such a cool album as well. So today's album and track list that we will be breaking down is from Under the Cork Tree, Fall Out Boy's sophomore album. So true Fall Out Boy fans don't need me to tell them how great this album is. Super iconic and still holds up really well. But maybe for people who are unaware of this album or maybe haven't visited in a while, man, as I said, it really does hold up, especially compared to maybe some of the band's other heavy-hitting albums like Infinity on High and Folie à Deux. This one can definitely hold its own, man. It's such a staple in, I guess, the genre and the scene, and it has so many songs that really do still pack a punch and are staples of the band. So super excited to break down this track list. As usual guys, if you are unaware, I also have a random album review up at the moment. I will link that in the description below. That's where I talk about the album as a whole and I give it a rating at the end. But of course, for my track list ranking videos, this is where I go through all the songs on an album and rank the track list from my least favorite to my favorite. So hopefully you will enjoy today's episode. A little bit of a hard one because, as I said, there are 13 tracks on this album, so it's a little bit of a longer list, but so many heavy hitters as well. So this was fun, but a hard one to do. So I'm excited to get into it. Of course, guys, let me know your thoughts on my list in the comments below. Let me know your favorite songs on this album, but without any more delay, let's start off this list, starting off at the bottom with my least favorite track on the album, my number 13. Starting off my list at number 13 is the track I've Got a Dark Alley and a Bad Idea That Says You Should Shut Your Mouth. I just realized how many songs on this album have such long titles, so I bet you I'm gonna have to do a lot of edits and stop myself from getting tongue-tied. But as I said, this is my least favorite track on the album. And my problem with this song is that I just find it a little bit boring and a little bit safe. I don't often ever come back to this song. I guess the best thing going for it is the fact that it doesn't overstay its welcome. It actually goes by relatively quick, which is kind of good. And I guess another thing that plays in its favour that it is on the earlier part of the album, so, you know, it's not right at the end where you're feeling a little bit burnt out and, you know, you get to this song and you're like, ugh, at least it's somewhere towards the start. But yeah, as I said, never really a song that I return to too often. It is a little bit of a blemish on a really solid album, but coming in at my number 13, I've Got a Dark Alley and a Bad Idea That Says You Should Shut Your Mouth. Coming in at my number 12 is Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner, and this song is actually pretty catchy, but again, sort of like my previous song, this is one that I don't come back to overly often, and it's not completely that memorable for me. However, this is the first song on the album that actually reminds me of a song from Fall Out Boy's previous album, Take This to Your Grave. You know, it packs that pop punk style energy and fast-paced feels. However, you know, just because it has that style doesn't mean it is a heavy hitter. For me, as I said, this song isn't overly memorable. Yes, it has some catchy moments and a little bit of replay value, but there's definitely a lot more songs that I pick over this one, so trying to fly through this list a little bit quicker to start us off. So coming in at my number 12, Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. Coming in at my number 11 is Champagne for My Real Friends, Real Pain for My Sham Friends. Really cool title, but unfortunately, kind of like the other two, not one that is overly memorable or I come back to very often. However, this is one I actually really wish I liked more. It has this really cool opening instrumentals and it almost like kicks the song off with a bang, but from there it sort of goes on the decline or sort of plateaus out. It doesn't really get much better than the intro for me, really. And also, this is one where sort of in middle school is where I sort of dug a little bit deeper into this album, and this is always one that people praised from the back catalogue, and I was familiar with plenty of the singles and, you know, mainstream tracks, but this is one that I heard get praised a lot, so I was like, okay, I can't wait to really get into this song. And ever since middle school. It's never been one that I've classified as a heavy hitter of the back catalogue, which is unfortunate. So, as I said, it's a little bit hard to, put some songs that are, decent maybe in lower positions, but coming in at my number 11 is Champagne for My Real Friends, Real Pain for My Sham Friends. Coming in at number 10 is 7 Minutes in Heaven, which also happens to be track number 7 on the track list. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one, I'm just going to say it plain and simple. What this song has over the previous ones that I've featured so far on my list is it is a little bit more memorable and a little bit more catchy. However, what's stopping it from moving any higher up is this song is just simple. It's just simply average. It doesn't really have anything that makes me want to put it higher, but it does have an edge over the others. So I'm going to keep this one short and sharp, and let's move on to my number 9. Of All the Gin Joints in All the World comes in at my number 9, and this was a song that was originally higher on my list, however moved down some positions because the verses I don't find overly memorable or something that I favour in, and also I find the repeating anthem sort of thing kind of annoying, which really sucks and is a bit of a bummer because the choruses are really good. And, maybe if the verses were improved on and, that chanting was taken out, this song would be higher. As I said, the chorus, really, really good, but there's some spots in this song that just need a bit more improvement. Again, this is a song that falls really early on the track list. It's only track 2, so, as I said, it's not towards the end where you're just sort of weighing through it. As I said, just annoying chants. I don't really like the what-oh-ohs, as I said, and some of the verses could be cleaned up a little bit more, but again, sort of just a middle track, so that's why my number 9 goes to Of All the Gin Joints in All the World. Coming in at my number 8 is Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying, otherwise known as Do Your Part to Save the Scene and Stop Going to Shows. Another really cool title, actually. Again, though, this is a track that isn't really on the stronger half of the album. However, the choruses are awesome, and the song actually has this really cool feel. Packs a lot of attitude and this really moody edge that gives the song a little bit of a push forward. And another thing that takes the song maybe a little bit of, favour is the Pete Wentz screaming rough vocals over the bridge. That is so, so cool. But, of course, as I said, this is my number 8, so there's obviously 7 songs that I have ahead of this one. But, slowly moving up, this song obviously is something I like more than the ones that I've featured before, but still sort of in middle territory, so let's move on to my number 7. My number 7 is the closing track on the album being EXO, and this is actually the first song on my list so far that sort of takes it to another level, and from here, a lot more of the songs are a lot more solid. This song sort of surprises me with how much it actually has to deliver. The song is almost broken up into different segments. I'd say the verses, in a way, are very fast-paced, almost like dance-like, pop-punk, thrasher feel. As I said, mixed with this danced energy. Then the chorus go to more of a slow-paced, rhythmic feel, and then follow that up with the verses that are almost melodic and swaying type feel. As I said, it's like 3 songs all in one, and this one really took me by surprise, and looking at it now, I'm like, maybe this song should have been a little bit higher, because I'm just thinking back on it, and there really isn't too many other songs like this on this list. I'm thinking of one that sort of compares to this one, setup and feel-wise, but this song really surprised me, and it's the perfect one to close the album, delivers and offers, an epic song to close it off. So coming in at my number 7 is the closing track, XO. Position number 6 goes to Sophomore Slump or Comeback of the Year. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent. The verses on this song, a little bit weak. I'm not the biggest fan of the verses, but where this song really earns its spot is the choruses. The choruses are completely fucking incredible. Probably the most brain-wormy choruses of the album. This is the choruses that I found myself singing along to the most, even when the album wasn't playing. They were just stuck in my head. Could be the most addictive chorus on the album. And then another thing that plays into this song as a bonus is, again, Pete's screaming vocals over the bridge. I mean, it's so short, so sharp, but it just adds so much to the song, and that's why Sophomore Slump, or Comeback of the Year, earns a spot at number 6. And let's now break into my top 5, guys. So breaking into my top 5 and coming in at number 5 is I Slept With Someone in Fall Out Boy and All I Got Was This Stupid Song Written About Me. This is the truest pop-punk song on the album, and that's super refreshing. It's like a shot of adrenaline, and it perfectly fits into this album and it's what it needs as well, because as I said, this is sort of where the band was evolving sort of more away from that pop-punk sort of sound, and just having that little shot of it in there. As I said, this is the truest pop-punk song on the album, and man, does it fucking deliver. And again, I've said this so many times, Pete Wentz vocals over the bridge, screaming vocals, I might add, just add it so much more. This song is just fucking badass, is packed with attitude, and just delivers every fucking single time. As I said, it's so refreshing to have like a really true, adrenaline heavy, fast-paced feel pop-punk song on the album. And as I said, Fall Out Boy were more so known for doing it on their previous album to this one being Take This To Your Grave, but, pop one right in the middle of the track list here, sort of, and, they smashed it out of the park. Now, coming in at my number 4 is the track A Little Less 16 Candles and A Little More Touch Me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is a song that has sort of lost a little bit of steam and momentum over time for me, but that is speaking wonders to the song because it is still my number 4. This song is pretty quick. It goes by relatively fast. It is simple, there's not too much going for it, but sometimes that is all you need for a song to stay in your mind and be really likable. This song is simple. It's not trying anything too fancy, but man, is it catchy and a safe bet to come back to. I think a lot of people sort of undermine this one. Yes, it's one of the more popular tracks on this album, but as I said, it's reliable. Every time you come back to it, you're going to enjoy. Quick, simple, fly through it, and sometimes that's just the best thing with tracks like this. So coming in at my number 4, A Little Less 16 Candles and A Little More Touch Me. Breaking into my top 3 now, and coming in at my number 3 is the opening track for the album. Our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued. And the first thing I want to say is, what a line. It's just past 8 and I'm feeling young and reckless. Written on my wrist says do not open before Christmas. Isn't that one of the fucking greatest emo lines ever written in history? It's so fucking underrated and I can't believe no one fucking talks about it. One of the greatest lines I fucking ever heard in my whole life. I love that line. But to be completely transparent and just to say it as simple as it is, I'm not really sure what I like most about this song other than that line. I just remember I sort of came across this song myself, as I said, sort of when I took that deeper dive individually into this album. And this was the opening track, and I was like, fuck, how have I not come across this song earlier? I really do like this one. Doesn't get talked about much, and I think it really should. It's such an underrated song. Obviously, I have it at my number 3, 2 songs above it. But I genuinely think this is a heavy hitter that doesn't get spoken about enough. So coming in at my number 3, Our Lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued. Now, for a lot of people, this would probably be their number 1, but coming in at my number 2, possibly the most unique song on this album, being Dance Dance. man, just the fast-paced, funk, dancey, rhythm, groovy feel that this song has. It's so unique. As I said, it just has its own personality and its own aura. And man, this song, I think the only song that really rivals it sound-wise from this album is a song I mentioned earlier, being XO. Similar style rhythm and dance sort of groove to it, but obviously this song being a fan favourite and such a heavy hitter, and man, it deserves that title of being a fan favourite. This song is just really great, extremely catchy, just overall great song. I'm sure a lot of people expected it to be somewhat high on my list, but obviously just by narrowing it down, if you've been paying attention, you guys will know what my number one is. This one was honestly so close at being number one, but let's move on to my top spot now. And Sugar We're Going Down comes in at my number one, possibly the most quintessential / popular Fall Out Boy song of all time. For a long time, this was just my favourite song in general, not even by Fall Out Boy. Would probably still be in my top 50. I know top 50 is a big number, but you know, I have a lot of bands and songs that I fucking love, but this would probably be in my top 50 now. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, he's picked the safe bet, but no, I just think there is no undermining this song. This is one of the greatest songs of the genre in general. A staple song for the band. Classic emo punk anthem. You know, as I said, it deserves to be one of the greats, and I think it will hold a position as being one of the greatest songs of the genre of all time. You know, obviously people are going to argue, is it the best Fall Out Boy song? But, you know, I don't think you could argue anybody's opinion if they said this was it, because this is such a great song. One of the first songs that I learnt to play on guitar. I really don't know what to say for this song. I'm sure every Fall Out Boy fan knows this song, knows how great it is, and it really is just a staple of the genre. I have nothing else to say. I'm like completely speechless. This song is amazing. I can't praise it anymore. So coming in at my number one is Sugar We're Going Down. So there we are, guys, at the end of my tracklist ranking for Fall Out Boy's sophomore album From Under the Cork Tree. This one was a bit of a weirdly paced one, just because there are so many tracks to get through. I was trying to make sure this video didn't go too long, so I was trying to, you know, not ravel on too much with too many songs, but hopefully you guys liked my opinions on the songs. But of course, if you guys don't agree, that's fine. Let me know your thoughts on the songs in the comments below, as I said, or if you have any takes on what I said, feel free to let me know. Again, guys, if you want to know my thoughts on this album as a whole, I will link in the description below the link to my random album review of this album also. But again, guys, thank you for sticking around if you've made it to this point. I really appreciate it, and I will have some more content coming your way soon, guys. Thank you for joining me again. Peace.